Okay guys, welcome back. I'm going to make a video about what hopefully is the last modification on a 255 Massey Ferguson. So we have the tractor with the blade on the back in wintertime. This is our snow blading, snow pushing tractor. And in that 55 horsepower range, it does a wonderful job, especially with the radial tires. But this tractor has one more modification that needed to be made. And this is that modification. So it's the drawbar. We were down in the junkyard over the break there. The tractor junkyard. My son Jet went, and Jet spent the day doing that. He likes the chrome logos, and so he took the logos off as many things as he could find that were kind of pretty and shiny. And then he came home and made that, and I thought it was kind of interesting, for the gearheads, that is a Ferguson badge off an old Ferguson, and that's off a 100 series Massey. That's off a 200 series Massey. And then that Case Eagle, boy, that Case Eagle just caught his eye, and he had to have that Case Eagle. So I think that we need to get two more logos on this for the 64 series, the 61 series, and the 64 series, and then it will be pretty much complete. But back to the modification that we need to talk about here. So this drawbar right here, the gray one, is a factory 255 drawbar. Well, it's not factory, it's an aftermarket, but it's the same as, except for the factory ones would not have had 3 position holes up front. They probably would have just had 1 position hole. But it's a straight drawbar, and it is 1 3/8 inches thick. And so I want to look down this drawbar real quick. Can you see the defect in it? It is bent a hair. Not only is it bent a hair, it had the problem that the pinhole down here on this end was only drilled 3/4 inch. And so because it was drilled 3/4 inch, yeah, a 3/4 inch pin will fit in there, but if your hitch has any irregularity, like you're hooked to something on uneven ground, your pin will bind. Not very heavy, not very stout, and it would bind the pin. That was its flaws. And so we were down in the junkyard and we found this drawbar. And the hood of the tractor was gone, but I think it was a 261 Massey. And so there, I'll show you the thickness difference. I'll show you the thickness difference there. The newer drawbar is a full 1/4 inch thicker. It has a 2-inch step on it, which is very nice. This drawbar with the short tires on our tractor tend to set a little bit too low quite often as compared to our other tractors. So it has a 2-inch step on it, and so I will run it in that position there, so it's actually 2 inches higher than the factory. It has 3 position holes up here for lengths. That's very nice. That wasn't, this is an aftermarket toolbar, but it's the same as the 255. The original 255s didn't have that, but this newer drawbar has that. And so, saw that drawbar and knew I wanted to make that modification. Now, I did not have the factory bar on hand, and when I got back home, this is the bar carrier for the 255, so I knew that the front hole, where is my pin there? I knew that the front hole where it mounts into the tractor was a 1-inch hole, but I didn't know the thickness difference. Well, got home and no, the drawbar would not go in. These are the 2 plates that are on the factory drawbar. You can see they're 1/4 inch steel. You can also see that they have distress in them. They had been bent a little bit, probably at the same time that I bent the drawbar. So anyway, we got to looking at the holes, and they have a fair amount of play. They actually have a whole lot of play. So anytime you would hook to something big, you know, the drawbar would chatter on you. So we decided to rebuild the front portion of the drawbar, where it holds the drawbar on the casing. Now from the factory, that drawbar, unlike the larger 200 series that have a plate similar to this, a sliding plate that grabs that pin, there's the plate grabbing the pin like that there. Unlike that, the 255s, they use just a cotter key to hold that pin in there. And I knew that the 1/4 inch steel was not any too thick, so I rebuilt the hitch. That's what Dana and I did last Saturday. And so we have used 3/8 plate steel and welded them in there. They will be a lot solider, and then we tapped bolt holes, drilled and tapped the bolt holes to carry the plate. Now, unfortunately, like on the 265 and 275, this portion of the hitch is wider, and this plate here is longer. And when it's longer, you can actually put slides in those bolt holes so that you can slide that plate back and forth to quick adjust it. The 255 has a narrower hitch on it. It was just a lighter model of tractor, and so we did that. We drilled holes and tapped it. To change it underneath here, you know, you will have to have your 1/2 inch wrench, but you had to have a 1/2 inch wrench anyway to change the drawbar on the 200 series. So, and when we welded them in, we increased that gap to 1 3/8 inches, which is what the new drawbar is. So, just a little video on what may be the final modification of the 255 to make it the ultimate handy little chore tractor, which is what it is. So we have the hitch bolts here in the office getting warmed up so that the Loctite will cure. We're going to use blue Loctite to hold those bolts in. That's very important. You don't want that hitch plate to come loose, but you can see that those bolts are also tapered, and so they lock that hitch plate to the tractor very well.